You're watching H&L. I'm Ursula, and this is the show where we help you build your confident voice. And today's confident voice guest is Melissa Lainn. She is a health and wellness coach and the podcaster of the great podcast Lifecraft. Welcome, Melissa.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's such an honor.
It's an honor to have you here. You came all the way from the farm.
Yes.
Because you're a farm girl.
I'm a farm girl now, and I need some time in the city, and it's just great connecting with you and your team. It's wonderful to be here.
We love having you here, and there's a lot I want to explore with you because that I know our viewers can learn from you. So, Melissa, in finding your voice in wellness, podcasting, living on the farm, what are some of the key critical moments that got you there on your journey of finding your voice here?
Yeah, that was a big thing. I was always a very bubbly child, and that led me to wanting to express myself. So I was one of those children who had 1,000 things I wanted to be, from an astronaut to, well, eventually a singer. And I pursued a music career, which I loved because I loved making people happy and seeing them just enjoy themselves for an hour or two. But I started evolving and I started realizing that that was not necessarily who I wanted to be for the rest of my life. And so I did a deep dive, moved to the farm, wanted to go and find myself. That's actually what I wanted to do. And find my voice.
This is a movie I've seen, I'm sure.
It is a hero's journey, I think. It really does. And most of our lives progress that way if we look at them in that kind of context. And I wanted to spend 6 months there to just find myself, find my voice, because I was always who other people wanted me to be. And I didn't know who I was. And I didn't know who I was if it wasn't for the identity I built there, which was just based on what I did, not who I was as a person, not the bigger me, always just the things I did. And that was quite tough to break out of, that identity that I built up for myself. And then it was a slow progression, but I had coaches who saw things in me that I didn't see in myself, like the fact that I could not stop talking about health and wellness. And I would tell my life coach or my business coach, but you should really look at eating that. And I don't think you should be eating so much of that. That might be causing inflammation. And have you thought of meditation? And that was just natural to me. And I think it's a progression, just like the podcast, of wanting to help people live life better, because I struggled when I was younger. It was a tough upbringing. And I think if you go back and you look at your childhood through a lens of love from where you are now, you can see those moments in your life where you had to say, I need to learn a whole new way of being, because what I was taught when I was little is not going to get me to where I wanted to be. So I've just always been that student of life. And now I love what I do. Live on a farm. It's an amazing life when you start co-creating it.
That is crazy. I was just like, farm city girl with a successful singing career.
Yeah.
I mean, you had a business.
Yeah, I had a business.
Singing.
I was very blessed. Some amazing opportunities that I don't think I realized how big they were until I got a bit older, but very blessed and would not change it for the world. It was amazing.
And now you're living in alignment and you feel like you are living your true voice, your authentic voice. What are some of the challenges that you faced in expressing your true Melissa voice?
Going back to those patterns, growing up in a really tough environment when I was a child, that ingrained certain patterns in us that we really take on as beliefs, and it forms our identity and it's how we view the world. And learning that I can be more than my personality and that my personality can change, and that these things that I'm living and these things that I'm believing about life are only patterns. And I can change a pattern, and then I'm going to experience a whole new reality. So one of the big ones for me was nothing was enough. And I learned that from a very well-meaning adult in my life, but nothing I did was enough. Nothing, the amount of money I accumulated wasn't enough. When I was healthy, it wasn't healthy enough. When I was skinny, because it was like the 90s and the early 2000s, I wasn't skinny enough. And having to let go of that, knowing that who I am, the being I am, the bigger me, is more than enough. I haven't even tapped into 10% of who I can be. And that my measure, like the way that I measure myself and my accomplishments and things have dramatically changed because I changed my patterns. So, yeah.
So there's a lot of changing the patterns that you picked up from your family, of who other people impose on you to be, and then having to go, I'm creating this.
Yeah.
That's very powerful. What is your true north, that thing that keeps guiding you on this journey?
I think it's really interesting. Just as you said that, a memory came back from when I was a child, and I didn't have any memories until about 2 years ago. I suppressed all of my memories as a child. And if you're going through that, it's not normal. You should really go and look at that. You can find help. But I remembered as a young child, I would always say, but it's supposed to be better than this. We're not supposed to struggle like this. We're not supposed to fight this much. Life is supposed to be better than this. We're supposed to have more fun. And I think one of the things that really stuck with me is that is my true north. I'm always convinced from a small child till the adult I am now that we're supposed to have more fun. Life is not supposed to be serious. It can't just be getting a 9 to 5 and paying bills for the rest of your life, or always being in a mood and never being in a good mood and just waiting for a holiday or a vacation to feel something. Everyday life can be special, and that's what I always try and share on the podcast too.
I totally got goosebumps, which means I vibrate with you on that one. Thank you, Melissa. We're going to come back after the break to find out more about having a connected voice on the farm with Melissa.